Hey everybody, welcome back. These are some first date swindlers caught red-handed. You know what else got caught this morning? My hair in a heated hairbrush. Mike had to pry it out and eventually cut it with scissors to free me. So if like my hair on this side of my head seems a little shorter than the rest, don't come for me. Don't come for me. Revenge on a con artist. 2 years ago, I met a man in a bar. He approached me and we started chatting. As they often do. He was very charming, intelligent, and charismatic. We exchanged numbers and began dating. He was very attentive and sweet, single, never been married, no children. He's beginning to sound like Prince Charming. I'm also a little naive and I haven't had a lot of experience with relationships. Oh dear. Oh dear. We see each other regularly and he's in constant contact with me via phone. He texts me all day, every day. We exchange hundreds of messages every day when we weren't together. 6 weeks after we meet, he begins telling me how much he dislikes his current living arrangement. There it is. He wants to move in with you. Rent-free, probably. How awful his housemates are and how he wants to move out. I live in a large home by myself and he hints if he can move in. Mighty presumptuous of him. I think this is a little fast, so I don't offer him a place to stay with me. He never mentions moving again. We continue seeing each other and talk all day, every day. We talk about the future, marriage, holidays, kids, etc. He had told me previously how wealthy he is. But he lives in a house with multiple roommates that he hates and wants to move out of. How he owns multiple homes and businesses around the world. Okay, so go live there. Which is why it was surprising 8 months into the relationship when he started asking me for money when he started his new business. Okay. I declined to give him any money as I've noticed a lot of little lies and inconsistencies with his stories and behavior. He's also very controlling and constantly negging me. For those that don't know what negging is, it's kind of like when a guy just sort of like mildly insults you, you know? Like you could be like dressed really cute, you're about to go out, and he's like,
"Oh, you're wearing that?"
Negging is like a micro insult. And over time, it kind of adds up and you start to feel like a little bit weird around that person. I start to cool off on him as things aren't adding up. He assures me everything he said is true and he would never lie to me and he loves me so much and would never hurt me. Something feels off still. I start sleuthing him online, trying to find information about him. Okay, besties, we need to be doing this at the beginning. We need to be looking people up ASAP. Assume everyone is a murderer. Assume everyone is either married or a murderer. And only when you find enough information to prove that wrong do you give them the benefit of the doubt. Nothing comes up. I end things with him. He begs me back. I'm dubious but continue to talk to him as I'm very cautious of finding out who this guy I fell in love with really is. This kind of sounds like that big TikTok story that everybody's talking about. Who the F did I marry? Have y'all seen that? Cray cray. I hired a private investigator to find out as I just can't shake my gut instinct that something bad is going on. I was devastated to find out the truth. Oh God, what's the tea, girl? What's the tea? I'm here, my cup is empty, let's fill it up. Glug, 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 glug. He's been married for 10 years and lives with his wife and 2 kids. Oh yeah, I hate those roommates, so annoying. Forgot to mention that you're like married to those roommates and the roommates came from your bodily fluids. Left out that little tidbit of information. He's been married 3 times and has 5 kids. He is broke. He lied about his age, where he grew up, childhood, etc. He has a serious mental health disorder. He's a pathological liar and chronic manipulator. I did realize this by the end. He sleeps with men on the down low and has a harem of women. A harem! A harem! He's got a bunch of concubines. He perpetuates love fraud schemes for attention and money and acquisitions. He conned his friends out of money. The list is endless. I confront him. He lies and says it's not true. I'm livid. I tell him to get lost. He goes for one last try to con money out of me again. Wait a second. Did he actually get money out of you, or it was just like him trying to get money out of you the whole time? But wait, we have revenge. All right, this story is not over. Revenge. I blast him on social media from an an anonymous account to warn his future victims. I post screenshots of the dossier provided by the PI. It creates a huge amount of interest and goes viral. It turns out this guy has screwed over more people than originally thought, and people want justice. Question for con artists who operate like this. Do you just think that like we will never tell anyone about you or like talk about you with anyone? Because, like, they're gonna find out. People are gonna find out. I've left the state I was living in when this occurred 3 months ago, and I'm trying to move on with my life. Always trust your gut instincts. Thanks for reading. I tried to keep it short. You're so welcome. I feel like we've learned something here today, and that is... treat everyone as if they are a murderer or married until you find out otherwise. I understand it sucks being lonely. I understand. I've been there. But you know what's worse than being lonely? Being with a swindler like this.
I was reminded of this story because my best friend's on a bachelorette party. She said last night they met a group of guys. When they asked the group of guys who was single, they answered with, all of us are single this weekend for this trip.
All of us are single this weekend? Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Oh, goody. Let me jump at the chance to be your girlfriend for the weekend.
Hooray! Like, I'm sorry, is that supposed to sound like a good deal to me? Am I supposed to be excited about that? Because I'm not. I'm not. It's like when a guy tells you he has a hall pass. It's like, great, so we're just gonna like go off and hook up and it's gonna be like subpar and not very good. You're going to wake up and I'm gonna wake up the next morning. We're going to have regrets. You're never gonna speak to me again. And your girlfriend slash fiance is gonna come and find me and probably get very angry at me. I'm good, thanks. I'm okay. No thanks. I'm good.
Which leads me to my story. My friends and I are out in Scottsdale at the bars. And if you live here, you know there are bachelor and bachelorette parties here every single weekend without a doubt. And these men ask us to come to their table. I'm not passing up the free alcohol. Like, yes, we'll come to your table. Plus, these guys were cute, which is rare. They tell us they're here for a bachelor party from Canada. So I'm over here talking about hockey with the boys. But I start talking more in depth to one of the guys. He says he's single. We exchange numbers because he wants to invite us to whatever they're doing for the rest of the weekend. I go home that night and I wake up the next morning and he's texting me, inviting me to their table for that night. And so I were like, sure, we will meet them out tonight. They were getting a table at Casa. Man's like literally texting me the whole day. And he keeps calling me his vacation girlfriend, which, no thank you. We get to their table that night, and he's like trying to be all over me, and I was just kind of like, okay, calm down. He's just coming on like a bit much. He just kept saying like, if I lived here, I would be with you. Sir, I met you 24 hours ago. He kept trying to kiss me in the club, and I was like, that is not my thing. But honestly, getting annoyed with him, so my friends and I decided we were gonna go home. He was like, tomorrow's our last day. Come with us to Maya. Maya's like the pool party day club here. Unless you have a table to go to, it's like $1 trillion to get in. My friends and I are like, okay, yeah, we'll definitely come meet you guys. We get to the day club Sunday. At the beach club that day, he was actually being really fun and not an annoying little gnat. So things are closing down for the day and everybody decides they're gonna go back home and change for nighttime. And this man gets in my roommate and I's Uber. I think this man thought something was going to occur, but like, no, I was trying to go out with my friends. He's in our living room waiting for us to get ready. I hear his phone ring and he walks out to our back patio.
Guess what? Let me guess. It was his girlfriend. It was his girlfriend, wasn't it? Oh, or fiance. I'm calling it right now.
This man heads out to our back patio and he's on the phone. And he's not really saying much, but like his face looked concerned. He comes back inside and he's like, hey guys, I'm gonna have to meet you guys at the bar later. It looks like my credit card is being frauded and I need to go deal with that. Like, oh my gosh, that's terrible. Go deal with that. I'm so sorry that's happening. Give him a hug goodbye and he gets in his Uber. Honestly, really could have cared less if I heard from him again. I was ready to just go hang out with my friends. The man could have literally just stopped his charade. My friends and I are at the bar and he calls me. He's like, where are you guys at? So I tell him, meets up with us. By the end of the night, both of our groups of friends leave and him and I go to the W Hotel bar to get a drink. We kiss. He is like begging me, trying to get me to stay the night with him. I am very much not that type of girl. I give him a hug and I was like, I need to Uber home, have a safe trip back to Canada. Planning to never hear from this man again. On about my Monday and I get a text. And it's a picture of this man's backyard in Canada, and it's like, got home safe, had such a great time meeting you this weekend. I was just like, wow, your backyard's beautiful, glad you got home safe, you too. I was kind of thinking, why are you texting me? He keeps the conversation going. It's like, I feel like we really hit it off and got to know each other. I would love for you to come visit sometime. I started thinking about it, and I was like, yeah, he definitely got to know me because he was asking me a lot of questions about myself, but when I would ask him, his answers were very vague. I learned that he had dogs and he liked to snowmobile. I was like, yeah, maybe sometime. He continues to keep texting me the entire day and the next day. Sending me pictures of his dogs, his house, what he's doing with his day. Keeps getting more and more serious about me coming to visit. Added each other on Instagram while he was in town for the bachelor party, but I had finally done a social media deep dive. It was tagged pictures on Instagram and I see engagement photos. In that moment, I immediately texted him and I was like, are you married? I click on the girl's page and she's private, but I add her. He calls me immediately and he's like, no, I'm not married. We broke off our engagement 2 months ago. I've been devastated over it. I moved into my own house. I had a feeling he was lying, so I messaged her and asked if she was married to so-and-so. She responds, and she's like, no, but we're engaged. We're going for clubbing Bobby tonight. Then messaged her everything that happened.
Well, I have to say I'm not surprised. It's not like you didn't foreshadow it a little bit. This is what I'm saying. Like, do you think that we just, like, won't talk to each other at all to find out the truth? If there's one thing that women really know how to do, it's talk. We're gonna find out. We're gonna talk to each other. We're gonna kiki. We're gonna caca. Maybe not always caca. Honestly, if you're on vacation, probably not. But we will for sure kiki about it. And like, does she live with him too? Like, what was he gonna do? Was he just gonna like...
Oh, babe, would you mind just like getting out of the house this weekend? Oh, no reason. I just like really need the house to myself.
Sometimes I think it's just like them wanting to believe that they still got it. Like they might not actually go through with it, but they just want to feel like a big tough girl. Lots of women. You got so many women. Good for you. So many women.
He immediately accepts my friend request and answers right away saying, yes, we're engaged, getting married in 2 months. Why? Before I can even respond, she replies again, what happened this weekend? I was like, okay, something, she knows something. I start typing out how I met her fiance and what happened. And I hit the send button. Next thing I know, she responds with, can I call you? I was nervous, but I was like, yeah, and I gave her my number. I gotta go get clean. Next thing I know, a Canadian number is calling me. She introduces herself and then she's like, okay, please give me all the details on what happened. So I start telling her everything. She was like, so he kissed you? I was like, yes, he did. And she was like, was he trying to do more than just that?
What happened to being single this weekend? Wasn't that what they said at the beginning? Because that kind of implies like, oh, they've got like a hall pass, so to speak. But clearly this girlfriend, fiance, had no idea he was single this weekend.
It's like, yes, definitely he was. She asked if I would send her all the text messages. I was like, yeah, I will. I told her, fair warning though, he says some pretty raunchy things in the text messages to me. I send her screenshots of all the texts. She goes, not to be weird, do you know what he would have been doing Sunday afternoon? Yes, he was with us. She was like, I knew it. I called him Sunday afternoon and he was being so weird, barely saying a word to me. And she goes, I creeped his Instagram and saw that he had followed you. And I was like, who is this girl? Why are you following her? I put 2 and 2 together and I was like, oh my gosh, he told me his credit card was getting frauded. So that was who was on the phone and he immediately left in an Uber. She was like, no, that was me. I didn't want him going on this bachelor party in the first place because they were all college friends and I barely knew any of those guys. It was very clear she didn't trust him or those friends. Rightfully so. Then all the screenshots of the text start to come through. She was like, oh my God, he kept this going when he got home. He's taking pictures of our house, our dogs, sending them to you. I was sitting right next to him the other day when he took that photo. I was just telling her how sorry I was. I had absolutely no idea he was engaged. And you hear him in the background trying to get into the room that she's in, talking to me on. He's like, she's lying, she's lying. She was like, no, she's not. I have all the messages right here. She asked me if I would leave and I was like, yeah. I have no idea if they got married. I blocked him on everything after that. And I just never went back and looked at her Instagram because I felt like I would have been really weird and really stalkerish.
Girl, that is a hell of a story. Thank you for sharing. By the way, go follow these creators, all of them, always. That's why we put the handles on the screen. I'm glad that you're a girl's girl and that you contacted her. I feel like we should all live by that rule. Make no mistake, guys. You meet a guy, he's like even a little bit good looking. If he's tall, he's either got a girlfriend or he's seeing multiple people at once, okay? The chances of him being totally no strings, no baggage, there's nobody else, are so unbelievably slim. And just because he tells you he's single doesn't mean he's telling the truth. Sounds like a Toronto man. Oh gosh. Yeah, this sounds a little familiar, not gonna lie. And if you do find out that he's in a relationship, which probably is the case, and he's sneaking around, maybe she's aware of it, maybe they have a certain thing going on, you gotta tell her. Just tell her. She can marry him if she wants, but like at least she knows, and then it's like, hey, that's your problem. You just... Without warning, mother-in-law took off to Kenya to marry the scammer. I'm sorry, what? No, you're not supposed to answer those emails. Don't answer the email. Don't answer the people in my comment section that are saying that they're gonna give you money and send you iPhones. That's not me. Mother-in-law sent a text Christmas Day that she's going to Kenya. She's now there with this man half her age who she wants to marry. Okay, how did we meet this man from Kenya? Won't go into all the details of his hospital stories, but quick summary. Wait, no, he didn't like email her wanting money because he has like some sort of illness, did he? You're not supposed to answer those emails. Is that how she knows him? He needed $250 a day injections for COVID recovery. Daughter almost died, needed 2 operations. He had kidney operation, almost died again from a heart attack. Just goes on and on. So many lies about the hospitals too, as I tried to tell her the hospital name didn't exist, but she wouldn't listen to anything. Oh, brother. Oh, no. Anyway, so she's in Kenya now. Oh, no. Oh, no. Bet you anything, Buddy doesn't even exist, bro. She has just left Swish Hotel to go to a house. Whose house? I don't know. Oh dear, oh dear. Today she sends pictures that she finally met his daughter. Oh, okay, daughter's real? Interesting. Apparently the daughter has been living at his sister's house, but came to meet her today. Also, in an incredible twist of fate, the mother of his daughter, who abandoned her at birth, now wants her back and is taking her back to the USA, where she lives and works as a doctor. Seriously, oh, I thought it was Dr. Seriously. As a doctor, period. Seriously, this story is so twisted. Sounds a little difficult to believe. Anyways, next steps are for her to marry him, which she really wants, as she gave him the ring herself. And she wants to invest in greenhouses. Oh my God. Oh my God. Get her out of there. Literally, she's prepared to give all her life savings on this once he marries her. She also says she wants to live and die in Kenya with him. Never mind her grandkids or a family at home. Oh dear, oh dear. Oh no. Guys, it looks like we gotta book a trip to Kenya. Like, I'll just look up some Airbnbs in Kenya right now. We gotta go save her. Anyways, I'm wondering what we can expect. I don't think we can stop her, but can we do anything? I'm assuming she will be swindled big time. Well, yeah, that's a fair thing to assume. Yep. So she's never met this person. How did she even start talking to him? I noticed the man always has his sister not too far away. Do you think this could be his wife or girlfriend? Yes, I do. She's got to be an accomplice as she goes along with the stories. It's all really messed up, but we feel helpless and have tried everything. Now I guess we will just watch her fall? Could there be any hope in this situation? Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Update. Thanks for all your advice. We've had some contact. She is renting an apartment in Kisumu, but won't provide the address. She says there are no addresses there. Is that something that she is informing you of, or is that something that he said? The man she's involved with now has found a job, works 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. Meanwhile, he hasn't taken her to his home, claims the sister Lucy has a 9-bedroom mansion. Okay, so why can't the sister Lucy pay for his medical issues? Yesterday was her first day out of the apartment as she relies on him entirely. They plan to marry and she's planning to invest in greenhouses. She wants to buy 6 at $10,000 each, as he promised her they would make $120,000 profit in a year. I said to her to send me the company profile as I'd like to invest too for profits and not having to work. Since then, he got touched via messenger and asked the fam to, quote, stop the drama. Never. Never. And what we wanted for him to leave her. I think he was trying to get us to offer money. It's very bizarre. Just gotta hope she makes it back home. Okay. There's an update. My mother-in-law is sitting in a Nairobi hotel waiting for the swindler to marry her. Mother-in-law did come back home temporarily. Tie her to a chair, girl. She refused to sign any power of attorney papers, and the advice was received that you can't stop someone from making poor choices. I beg to differ. I think I could probably stop her.
Get a hold of yourself!
Stewardess, please let me handle this.
Well, basically, we couldn't do anything legally. We tried to talk her out of returning and make her see sense that she's being swindled. But the more we tried to stop her, the more distant she became. She pretty much cut everyone off. She keeps in touch with only one family member who placated her to ensure they could stay in touch. This person has provided me with the info, and I can give the update of what she's doing. She returned to Kenya, but first she packed up all of her household furniture and sent that across to Kenya too. 7 weeks and it hasn't arrived yet. Hopefully they will have a house to put all the furniture into. They will have to get a house soon once they are married. Oh my, oh my. The date is not set, but she is excited. She's renting a room in Nairobi in the meantime. She spends most of her days passing the time looking at wedding dresses online. She's too scared to venture out of the hotel if he doesn't accompany her. Oh, mighty convenient for him. Nairobi is a big place and she's 77. Oh, no, oh, Mima. No. It's difficult to get around. When he is there, he makes her feel secure. He is the best man she's ever known. I want to believe that. I really do. A good Christian. Oh, well then. And hardworking 40-year-old man. What does a 40-year-old good Christian Kenyan man want to do with a 77-year-old woman? I'm sorry, I'm just gonna say it. What possible reason could he have for wanting to marry a 77-year-old woman from the States? Unfortunately, he is away a lot, and she's on her own most of the time, so she doesn't get out much at all. Could it possibly be that he has an entirely separate life swindling other 77-year-old women? He is head chef at one of the best hotels in Nairobi, and he's committed to the job. He needs to be there 24/7 many days of the week. Now that he's employed again, he might be able to pay back the $130K he borrowed from her. He really got it as a loan. No, wait, it was a gift. He needed it. It was for his jail bail? He was wrongly accused? Oh yeah? He had long COVID and the operations, the sick kids. It was lucky she gave him the money or he could have died. And it's lucky too his kids can now live with his sister. Really, thank God for the sister taking them, or he wouldn't be able to work if he needed to look after the kids. Soon he won't need to work so much as they will invest in greenhouses. Has she seen these greenhouses? Do they exist? They will make back the $130K she lent him in just 1 year. This man is a predator and a con artist. We estimate after the $130K she handed him, she's at least down another $70K for logistics, apartment rent, plane flights, who knows what else. If anyone has any ideas on how I can expose him to warn other women, let me know. Mother-in-law might not listen, but maybe it could help others. I do know his name and date of birth. I can't share here because of admin rules. Thanks for listening. Okay, so we're gonna book flights to Kenya right now. Not sure how to expose him, but I can go and get your mother-in-law. We made it done! Subscribe!